Hello, we are Team 1 and today we are going to present multiple object detection and tracking using CNN and LSTM. Object tracking is to capture the trajectory of multiple objects in a video sequence. Multiple objects are tracked, but the accuracy depends on the precision of the object detection. There are multiple applications in which object detection finds use. They are listed in the slide. The motivation behind using LSTM with CNN is as follows. When we deal with video sequences, it is intuitive to use temporal information, but there are inaccuracies in detection. And since we would like to track the object end to end, these sort of inaccuracies are not acceptable. Thus, we need some sort of memory that needs to be induced in the model. We think RNNs and LSTMs are good candidates for such tasks. But due to the problem of vanishing and exploding gradients of RNNs, LSTMs are fit for this task. The dataset used for this model was obtained from the MOT 2015 dataset. The video sequences have diverse characteristics. The ground truth annotations are only available for the training set. So we divided the training and testing dataset from the 11 available video sequences. 7 were used for training and the rest for testing. The baseline approach consists of YOLO v3 and centroid tracking. YOLO v3 is an object detector. It uses real-time detections and is scale invariant. It performs detections at 3 different scales. And it has the DarkNet 53 feature extractor. Centroid tracking makes association of the previously tracked objects and the new detections with the use of Euclidean distance between the centroid and the IOU over the bounding boxes. The baseline block diagram is given in the slide. The challenges we faced in the baseline were the dependence on the tracking accuracy, dependence of tracking accuracy on the detection accuracy. Overlapping bounding boxes with low Euclidean distance were associated without taking into consideration the visual similarity. And there were losses in the tracks of objects when there was occlusion. Now Abhirav will continue with the proposed methodology.
Thank you, Shriyanti. So our task is to track objects. In such a task, there is a dependency between the trajectory of an object until the current frame with where it will end up in the next frame. An LSTM should be able to learn this pattern. One of the major challenges that we faced while training an LSTM that predicts new positions for multiple trajectories in one go is that it is difficult to enforce one-to-one relationship between the input and the output. Hence, we decided that it would be beneficial to train a model that predicts new positions for one trajectory at one time. This motivates an association block. Even if we have a model that can tell us where a particular trajectory will end up in the next frame, how do we associate the detections in the next frame with all these predictions? We could just use centroids, but we also want to use visual features. So we use a deep sort kind of mechanism, which looks at the cosine distances between features and the intersection over unions of the bounding boxes. As we use YOLO for detection, we also use the features from DarkNet feature extractor for the association. This is our end-to-end workflow. First, the detections from YOLO and their corresponding features from YOLO's feature extractor are fed to the association block. The association block first associates the current detections with the predictions it received from the LSTM in the previous cycle. Then the association block updates the trajectories that it's tracking. Some trajectories may not find an association as they aren't close enough with any detections based on various metrics. If this happens continuously for a few frames, such a trajectory is deleted. If there are detections that aren't matched to any trajectories, new ones are created. The output of the current frame is now ready. However, the LSTM still needs to make predictions for the next frame. One by one, the currently tracked trajectories and their corresponding detections are fed to the LSTM model. The LSTM predicts the next location for the trajectory that it has received. And now the association block stores these predictions for association with the detections in the next frame. This cycle continues. It seems like it's a chicken and egg problem, but not really. As we are using an LSTM, we anyway need a minimum length of trajectories to make a prediction. So for the first few steps in any trajectory, we'll only look at the detections and create a trajectory in the association block itself. The number of steps for which we do this, it depends on the LSTM's lookback hyperparameter, which is the length of the sequence that the LSTM needs. For training the LSTM, we use the trajectories in the ground truth provided by 2D MOT 15 dataset. As it can be seen, our LSTM is a many-to-one model. We input n bounding boxes from the previous n frames for a particular object, where n is the lookback for the LSTM. The output is the predicted new location for the given trajectory. We experimented on different hyperparameter settings to tune our model. We finally selected the hyperparameters shown that are highlighted with the green line, and we picked the settings with the lowest validation loss. This is our LSTM model architecture. We have 3 LSTM layers followed by dense layers, one each for every regressive value in the bounding box. So basically we have an LSTM that looks at 5 previous frames to predict where the object might end up in the next frame. Now my teammate Amey will take over.
Thank you, Abhirav. It is important to evaluate our model based on accurate metrics. 2D MOT 2015 dataset comes up with the following metrics evaluations. Hence, we have evaluated our model based on following metrics, which deals with accuracy and precision of our model, and then how the tenure of objects tracked and lost during the video. So these are basically the videos of our baseline and the proposed model. So as you can see, cars are crossing the road, whereas the pedestrians on other side are not at all losing track in our proposed model results, whereas those IDs are constantly getting switched in our baseline results. So the problem of occlusion is solved to a certain extent using our proposed model. Also, it is important to note that the person 1 is tracked throughout its tenure, whereas it is lost at very early duration in a baseline model. Also, the number of IDs are less in the proposed model, even in this video. So, which is indicative that more identity switches are there in our baseline model, and proposed model has improved significantly. These are basically the results of our baseline and the proposed approach. As we can see in the graphs, the higher is better and lower is better for separate criteria, and our model has improved in both the aspects with all the metrics. So to conclude, we have successfully overcome the challenges in centroid tracking based approaches using LSTMs, which are lower dependence on detection and then overlapping and occlusion problems. These are basically the possible extensions to improve our model in the future. Thank you.